Hello, my name is Dr. Caroline Walker and I am an NHS psychiatrist and I specialise full-time in the wellbeing of doctors. I am currently producing a series of these videos about the mental health and wellbeing impact that the COVID pandemic is having on doctors at the moment, and I just want to say a huge heartfelt thank you for the phenomenal response that these videos have been getting, and please do continue to like, comment and share. It means the world to me at this difficult time, so thank you. And I think a lot of people are benefiting from seeing people commenting and knowing that they're not alone with these things. We've had a video about a kind of anxiety and stress at this time. I've done one on a lot of doctors feeling guilty at the moment, but today I really want to talk about something else that I'm hearing from a lot from doctors, which is sleep disturbance. I think the number one thing I want to get across in this video today is that sleep disturbance at this time is really normal, really to be expected. It would be rare, actually, I think, for the level of arousal that we're kind of experiencing at the moment generally, for us to be sleeping as well as we would normally be. Now, for some of us, we might be utterly exhausted, so falling into bed and able to sleep through and then waking feeling like we could sleep another 10 hours. But for a lot of people, I'm hearing from a lot of doctors who are struggling with their sleep at the moment and sleeping less. And I just really want to normalise that. It's really common when something this big is going on that's really impacting on our emotional well-being, and generally it's getting our level of arousal a bit higher, then we really struggle to sleep. So I'm hearing from doctors who are struggling to get off to sleep, who are lying there perhaps on their phone, maybe not actually looking at COVID stuff, actually maybe just looking at playing a game or something, but just feeling like, what on earth am I doing? I know I need to go to sleep, I know I need to switch off, but I can't. So that kind of level of just being more just more awake at night and finding it harder to switch off. I'm also hearing a lot of doctors describing waking in the night, and then brain clicking in, remembering what's happened, and just immediately kind of starting to think a lot and worry a lot, and then struggling to get back off to sleep, and that horrible thing where you kind of just fall off to sleep just before you know your alarm's going to go off to get up in the morning again. And I'm hearing from a lot of doctors that they're waking up earlier, and not a kind of, at the moment I'm not hearing a massive amount of the really severe early morning awakening that you get that's profound with like depression, for example, but more a kind of they're just starting to wake a little bit earlier, and it's like where you would normally sort of snooze off again to sleep, your brain just immediately, it's like it remembers what's going on, and it just suddenly starts going over all the same stuff again, and you might reach for your phone and start to interact with your messages and things again. There are some doctors out there experiencing the more profound early morning awakening of several hours in the morning, and that might be indicating that there's an underlying mood disorder going on. So if that is you, then please do seek some help for that, and I'll talk a bit more about that in a minute. But yeah, all of these different sleep disturbances that I'm seeing, more restless sleep, I'm hearing about, partners getting elbowed and kicked and all sorts, and sleep being disturbed by other people in the household that are unwell, or perhaps you've got children who are a bit unsettled at the moment, or a partner that's not sleeping very well, or perhaps you've been drinking a bit more alcohol or something like that, and that's interrupting. So lots and lots of things going on around sleep at the moment for people. And again, I just want to really normalise that for these first few weeks, and probably, to be honest, the next 2 to 3 months, we're probably going to all be experiencing a certain amount of sleep disturbance. And so the first thing I want to say is, please, if you can, try to normalise that for yourself. It doesn't mean that you're never going to sleep well again. It just means that you're a human being, and actually this is how we respond when we're under extreme levels of stress. That if you think about the level of information that we're having to process at the moment as doctors, the amount of distress and worry and anxiety we're carrying for all of our loved ones and our friends and ourselves, but also all of our patients and the nation as a whole at the moment, it's absolutely no wonder that, when it comes to that time at night when our brain would normally be switching down and turning off, that we are, it's still buzzing away and quite alert. So what can we do to help ourselves at the moment? Well, first of all, normalise. Please try not to panic, because that thing where you just start to think, oh God, I'm never going to go back to sleep, and you're clock watching, and it's like, oh my God, this is a disaster, and how am I going to cope? And you are going to get through. You're going to be okay. You are going to get through this. We are going to all get through this together, and we're all going to be pretty tired. And at some point, we're going to, catch up on that. But at the moment, it's okay. It's kind of normal, and we're all feeling it, right? We're all starting to feel a bit frayed around the edges and a bit tired, if not exhausted. Some of us. What we can do, so normalise it and try not to sort of over worry about the sleep disturbance itself at this stage. I think then, the basic sleep hygiene stuff, whilst it isn't going to completely solve the problem for us, because actually at the moment there's a really good reason why we're struggling to sleep, right? It is going to help, and actually if we don't do those sleep hygiene things, then it's going to make it worse. So if you're, for example, going to bed at really irregular times, if you can try and just ease that back into a little bit of more of a pattern now, within an hour or two at the same time each night if possible, it would be really helpful. Making sure you're being exposed to light at the right times. I know that may sound really basic and quite difficult for some who are working long shifts in hospitals at the moment, but if you can even just expose yourself to a bit of sunlight first thing in the morning or throughout the day, that can be really helpful. Exercise and movement activity is really, we know, is one of the most powerful things for helping with sleep. So please trying to prioritize a little bit, even if it's just parking your car that tiny bit further away and walking, or walking up the stairs, even though you might be really tired. Actually doing that little bit more activity or physical movement is going to really help to start to get your sleep pattern a bit better over time. Keeping regular meals, thinking about your caffeine intake, all of these things that we know really help with our sleep in normal times are going to help to keep it, get it back into a normal pattern eventually. So really important, if we can, to, we're all going to be leaning on some of these crutches at the moment, having a few extra cups of tea or whatever it is, and that's really human, and we've got to do what we've got to do to get through. But just sort of keeping a little half an eye on it, and even if just substituting the odd, caffeinated tea for a decaf one or whatever now and again if you can, or little things like that, that over the next few weeks and months, as things start to normalise, as we start to get through this, this first phase, this first really acute phase, then our sleep will start to readjust and settle down eventually. Also, just looking at your tech, how you're interacting with your tech. So, we know that using like screens is going to be keeping us up late at night. So, trying if you can to sort of, some doctors I'm working with at the moment are putting their phones in another room entirely when they go to sleep. So it's not the first thing they reach for in the morning either. Or if you have to have your phone with you, having it in do not disturb mode, or trying to look at something other than a screen just before you're going to bed, or for the, ideally for the hour or two before you go to bed. But let's be realistic, we're all looking at our devices all the time at the moment. So, but just being aware of that and trying to kind of get that into a little bit more of a balance. So that's a few of the sleep hygiene things we can do. What do you do if you're really struggling, if you are absolutely getting true insomnia where you're not sleeping at all for more than a day in a row, or then I think you need to be seeking some help and talking with somebody and getting support, because some of us going through these extremely stressful times will have that kind of reaction, and we know, don't we, that sleep deprivation does impact on our capacity to provide safe medical care and to be safe generally with driving and things like that. So it's really important that if you're feeling like your sleep deprivation is that little bit worse than normal, or just completely out of control and it's just not safe, then please do come and get help, because it's okay. There are lots of people looking at how we can be rotating around doctors to provide, so we don't all have to be on the front line this very second. So even if you just need to take a day or two to step back and just get some rest, or with the help and support of some professionals like your GP, or something like the practitioner health program, or the BMA wellbeing service, then please do get that support and help. I'm going to leave it there for this video on sleep. If this has been helpful to you, please do like, share, comment. Again, it's really helpful to me to know what's helping, what's not helping, so that I can be of most use to you, doctors out there that are struggling at the moment. But please, after you've watched this video, maybe it's time to put the phone down for a bit and try and get away from those screens and hopefully try to get sleep back into a better place. But remember, really normal for it to be a bit disturbed at the moment, and it will be for most of us. So it's okay, and we're going to get through this together. Okay. I'll speak to you soon. All right. Bye.